speak favorably, there are consequences. So that incident came to light. So probably these are situations which we will have to look at. Therefore, I don't want to use the word corridor lawyers and all that, but just to avoid situation between physical and virtual, I think hybrid was suggested on that basis only. But somewhere down the line, these are practical things which will come up and we'll have to address it. Because it's not that, fully virtual. I'm very pro-technologist, but the interest of justice cannot be compromised on that. So somewhere we'll have to work out that. And there is a live incident of US which I told you right now.
In fact, here just very briefly, evidence is a different ball game altogether, because you have case law to say that even the judge is to take into consideration the conduct of the witnesses, especially in criminal matters. So I don't think when it comes to evidence, I would be very, very conservative when it comes to...
No, I can tell you one example. I mean, 16 years back, we used to practice in Tisari court. My senior was examining a witness. I mean, to be very candid. So that witness was tuition witness, and he was answering everything perfectly, whatever he has been taught. And after half an hour, my senior said, see that this guy is not, he's not able to crack that guy. And then he just observed that he was standing by folding his hand like this. Then he shouted on him, "Seedha khada ho, tere baap ki court hai." Then judge also said, "Seedha khada ho bhai." And then after that incident, that guy forget everything. And then whatever we want to get it out from the, these are tactics of advocacy. This is the advocacy. So then you are fighting case for a lawyer or for a client, and you have to take things out in your favor. And cross-examination is a very key thing in a litigation, hardcore litigation. So I don't know how you will do that in, in the virtual thing.
That is why I said
so,
intimidation charges don't apply.
Yeah. So just to add to that, right? I'm not in criminal cases, but if it's a normal matter, we do that all the time, right? In-house counsels, we negotiate cross-border transactions all the time. You don't want your sales to say something that is not in your favor. So you are constantly chatting with them on Teams, on Zoom, on whatever, WhatsApp, even if it's not allowed, right? So you do that. So we've gotten used to it, that you just use every technology that is available for you, Teams, Skype, everything, and you give instructions that don't pitch in. Don't pitch in. I'm the one who's leading it, So this is Renuka Chaudhary. I represent Automation Anywhere, Inc. So of course, I'm very pro-technology. Because at the end of the day, even if you're using bots, you need human touch to give that bot that instruction. So human touch is not going away. I just wanted to add, on litigation side as well as non-litigation side, I think in India, we need data security. I think we need, that's a paramount need that has come out in the pandemic, that you need more safeguards in place for securing your citizens' data. India, I don't know if you guys get these calls all the time, from banks, from anywhere. Do you want a loan? Do you want a credit card? That means your data is going out there without any challenge. Imagine if that happens for a case. You don't want the world to know your details or what problems you are in. So data security is paramount if you want to use technology more and more in litigation. As far as, the time that is taken in litigation, everybody is pointing out that. And I wanted to put it out there that as an Indian lawyer, I feel really bad when my US-based company says that we don't want to use India as a jurisdiction. Because that sheer time that is taken to give justice, by the time the order is passed, it's non-enforceable. So I don't want to accept India as jurisdiction or governing law for my contract. And I feel really bad being an Indian lawyer, talking to an Indian customer that I actually use this argument to say that no, either you accept the US jurisdiction or you accept a neutral jurisdiction like England and Wales or Singapore, but we are not going to accept India. So I just wanted to put that out there, that we need to use technology for betterment. I want to be in a state where I tell my company that, you know what, we have speedy justice, so let's use India as a jurisdiction. And I want to rest.
The main point is that they are, they can't, it's our turf. It's our turf and they can't beat us here.
No, we are here. No, we are here to defend them. I'm here to defend the Indian company. I'm here to do that. But yes, that happens most of the times.
I agree with the litigation is getting piled up multiple years, but why to litigate? There are mediation, there are arbitration, the ways out to work on.
They use for it.
India being a best
they don't
jurisdiction
use
for
it.
arbitration, I can say you.
I feel really bad when that happens, that.
That India is one of the best jurisdiction for arbitration today also in it. I'm telling you.
No, no.
Arbitration.
That I've seen personally also.
I differ from that.
However, technology is playing a good role. I have also been tossed in one of the cases, and an order says no mobile should be carried into the room of arbitrator. But later on, when he realized without technology, however,
Maybe times are changing, but they're not changing so much that we.
You are right so far as the first part of the arbitration is concerned. This is my experience over 25 years. I had been doing this arbitration only, international and domestic arbitration. The problem is first part is there is no problem. Earlier also there was no time frame was there. Then there was a time frame 1 year. Then there was a time frame over 18 months. After passing the award, then it goes to the court, and courts remain always the court. In fact, even the execution is taking 10 years, no more than 10 years. And then again, 37 is there, then Supreme Court is there. So this is what is the ultimate fate of the arbitration awards also. This is what we are seeing, where we are rightly said, the courts, once the matter goes, whatever the award you take within no time, maybe 6 months, summary procedure or whatever you take, you are giving this thing. But still, again, you have to have, I am doing one arbitration, international arbitration. They took it within 1.5 years. Now, 10 year, rather 12 years has passed by. There is no disposal of even 34. This type of the...
And with the evolving technology that we are in, right, RPA and bots, the technology is changing so fast. If there's a matter of IP tomorrow in the court, they say, what are we going to do? So, I mean, I have to accept, unfortunately.
So positive outcome out of this is that, number one, E-Court suggested in 2016 has materialized. 6 months per court, and therefore till Supreme Court, till 2 years max should be, so that will also resolve your 11 years fight.
But the concern...
And the third suggestion which we are proposing to give, as you have heard about faceless income tax hearings, in certain matters, where it's a liability, vicarious liability, or liability which is confirmed, like when you're caught in the railway, etc., without ticket. These are all offences which are not to be proved on the face of it because there is a law applicable to it. So the third suggestion is on the faceless courts. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this in front of the judges, otherwise they will throw me out. But this is one of the suggestions which has come on the table. Positively, we are evaluating how this will materialize, keeping the neutrality in mind. So those are factors. So let's see. But timing is more important. I think 11 years is too long. I think that's where we come.
Just to add on a timing side, if you go to High Court website of Delhi also today, they ask that 2021 matter will be listed first. Then we'll start 2020, 2019. This is how it moves. Means the old matters are piling up day by day. No one is earning.
Sachin, you're saying that 4 weeks I'm going to the Bombay High Court. There's a party, a cinema hall, which is in contempt of court. And the judge is saying this matter is not urgent and it's going for 4 weeks and the hearing is not coming up. When the hearing came up, it was on serial number 56 and it is for last 2 to 3 weeks getting postponed. And my management is asking that for 2 months somebody is in contempt, gross contempt, twice of the order of a high court, and the matter has been said that there is no urgency in that. So, I mean, your urgency is not my urgency, is basically the debate which is there. And we, as lawyers, keep protecting the liberty of the court, but the management also doesn't understand at some point of time. It's a precarious situation.
Like we used to say in thesis, Ari, Janab ke order ki value nahi hai. I mean, you have to
So I got this injunction on the basis of that only. 15 years, first time in the life of my company. But when the party went into the contempt, the matter has still not come up on the basis of urgency. But yeah, I stay positive on that. We'll improve on timelines.
So this is last call. I think so everyone who has not spoken must
I
speak now.
want to share about arbitration. So we had an arbitration which was resolved. I was told that yes, the hearings have all completed and arbitration order will be ready. I kept on checking for arbitration order, and the arbitrator actually forgot to write the order, and there was a vacation. And after the vacation, my law firm had changed. So the new law firm approached him, and he said, now you please file application in High Court for renewal because the arbitration is mandate is over. So this is more than technology. I think the mindset also needs to change, because he took so much time and he did not, award an order. He did not he forgot to write the order. And I don't think how no amount of technology can help in this case.
Yes, and you can't even ask for waiver of
You cannot ask for anything because he's just telling you to go to High Court for anything.
So awareness is must now, and technology awareness is required to everyone now.
Sir, I'd
please.
just like to add something.
Yeah.
Namaskar.
Please introduce.
I am Trisha Shreyashi, and I'm an independent legal counsel. I'm engaged at Odisha High Court. I'm a very recent law graduate. Last year I passed out. So I just want to add something that belongs to a chamber discourse that happened very recently. So my senior is about 72 years old. And there was this case that came in that involved crypto and blockchain. He had the file at his hand, and he read it thoroughly for 4 or 5 nights, and after that he just called me in and said, I'll just quote the exact thing, यार ये पढ़ो क्योंकि मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है, and brief me in tomorrow. So I went back, I read, and I've been working on crypto and blockchain for a while. I went back, I explained him from simple blockchain to how cryptos work, everything. There's one thing that he told me after that briefing is that I need you to handle this matter, and I was not enrolled at that point of time. So anyway, I had to rush through the enrollment.